Look at this pattern piece. It's just one front bodice, but it's been asked to shape the bust, control the waist, hold the neckline clean, and carry the style line of the design all at once. And this is exactly why the garment is not working. Not because the sewing measurements of fabric is bad or inaccurate, but because the pattern piece just has too many jobs it's doing and no clear way to do any of them properly. And this is what I want to talk about in today's video. The mistakes some designers make where they force one pattern piece to do too much till the design starts to fight itself, and the fix for this mistake is not what you would expect. A pattern piece has a job. Sometimes that job is to fit the body, create shape, hold volume, allow movement, or carry a design line. And I'm not saying that one pattern piece can't do more than one job, because it definitely can, and that's normal. Like for example, a one-piece basic bodice front can be drafted to fit the chest, hold the dart, create waist shaping, and connect to the neckline and armhole, and that's completely fine. The problem starts when that one piece is expected to do too much conflicting things with no structure to support them. That is when the design starts to become unclear. The fabric pulls where it should be sitting nicely on the body, collapses where it should be staying strong and structural, and looking flat where it should have shape. A strong pattern does not force one area to solve every problem. A strong pattern distributes the work, and that distribution can happen through darts, princess seams, panel lines, gathers, pleats, style lines, grain line, internal support, or even fabric choice. But the principle remains the same. If the design needs control, the pattern must provide a way to control it. If the design needs shape, the fabric needs a path to get there. And if the design needs volume, the volume needs a deliberate location. Let me show you what all of this looks like in practice. Example 1. Let's say you're making a fitted top, for example. You would want it to shape around the bust, come in at the waist, sit cleanly at the neckline, and maybe also carry a beautiful design line across the front. Now watch what happens when one plain front piece tries to carry all of that. The bust does not have enough room, so the fabric pulls. The waist does not come in cleanly, so the silhouette of the garment looks boxy instead of fitted. The neckline gaps because there is nothing controlling it, or the whole front looks flat even though the design was supposed to look really fitted and shaped. At this point, most beginners start doing one of three things. They either remeasure, take in the side seam, or they blame the fabric. But the real problem is structural, because the pattern piece does not have enough control in it to do what the design is asking. And this is where darts, princess seams, contouring, or panel lines end their place and become useful. Because a dart is not just a technical thing we put into patterns because in fashion school we were taught to do so. A dart is a way of telling the fabric exactly where to shape on the body and where to stop. A princess seam is not just a random design or decorative detail. It helps share the work of bust shaping, waist shaping, and design placements across two pattern pieces instead of one. A panel line is not there just to make a garment look more interesting. Its job is to help the body into smaller areas that are easier to manage and control. So before you draft your pattern, you need to ask yourself this one question: can this one single pattern piece do all of the things I want it to do cleanly, or does this design need extra darts, seams, panels, or contouring to divide the work? That one question can help you save a design from looking weak before you cut a single piece of fabric. Now let's take another example, and this would be sleeves. Sleeves are one of the easiest places to overload a pattern piece, because a sleeve is not just a tube that's sewn to cover the arm. A sleeve has to connect to the armhole, it has to allow the arm to move, and it has to hold the right amount of ease. It may need volume in a specific location, and it may need to end neatly and controlled at the cuff or wherever the design stops. So if you draft one basic sleeve shape and try to push all of those requirements into it, the sleeve becomes confusing. The volume lands in the wrong place. The sleeve head may feel too tight while the lower sleeve balloons up. The cuff may look bulky instead of crisp, or the whole sleeve collapses rather than holding the silhouette you want. This is why sleeve volume has to be planned, not just added, because adding volume at the sleeve head behaves very differently from volume at the lower sleeve. So if the design needs drama but also needs a clean armhole, those two design features may need to be separated. The armhole area needs control, the lower sleeve area needs to be spread, and the cuff needs gathering. So instead of asking, how do I make this sleeve bigger, ask, where does this sleeve need to stay controlled, where does it need to release, or where does the volume actually belong rather. And that is a better pattern making question, because good volume is not just added randomly. Good volume has a location, a purpose, and a plan. Example 3, the skirts, and the same principle applies to the skirts too. So let's say you want a skirt that fits nicely at the waist and hip, but then flares out or creates drama below. If you force one plain skirt pattern piece to carry the waist fit, hip fit, flare, movement, and silhouette all at once, you will run into problems. The hip may become too tight, the flare may start from the wrong point, so it looks heavy instead of elegant. The side seam may swing forward, or the hem may not hang cleanly. This is why we use panel lines and goodets. It is why controlling where the flare begins matters so much, and it's why grain line also matters. That's why two skirts can use the same amount of fabric and behave completely differently. One looks clean, intentional, and well balanced. The other looks heavy, twisted, and wrong. The difference is not the amount of fabric used. The difference lies in where the pattern gave the fabric permission to work. So if the drama belongs only at the hem, the flare should not start too high. If the design is a mermaid, for example, the upper section needs more fit and control, while the lower section needs to release gracefully. And those are two different pattern decisions. Now, before we go further into this video, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not saying every design needs more seams, because a simple clean shift dress can be very beautiful. A clean A-line skirt can also be beautiful. A one-piece sleeve can work perfectly well. So having more pattern pieces or panels in a design does not automatically make the garment better. The point I'm trying to make is not complexity. The point is to aim for clarity. So if a design is meant to be loose, minimal, or relaxed, a simple pattern might be exactly what it needs. But if the design is asking for shaping, support, volume, control, and a strong silhouette, the pattern has to provide a way for all of those things to happen. So don't just add multiple seams to your pattern just to look advanced. Add seams when the design needs to look fit and controlled. Add a dart when the fabric needs shaping. Add a panel when the silhouette needs better distribution. Add gathers or pleats when volume needs a place to land. And add internal support when the garment needs to hold or stay firm on the body. That's the difference between unnecessary complexity and actual pattern logic. So before you draft your next design, ask yourself these 5 questions. First, what parts of this garment must hold or stay structured? Is it the neckline, the bust, the waist, or the armhole? For example, a strapless bodice that needs to stay up requires boning, a strong facing, or both. Without that, the design collapses or fights gravity all day. Second, what parts needs to be shaped to the body? Is the fabric shaping around the bust, the waist, or the hip? Where does the body curve, and how is the pattern accounting for that? Third, what parts need to release? Is there a flare, volume, drape, or movement? And does the pattern give the fabric a clear path to get there? Fourth, what part needs to allow movement? Is the arm supposed to be lifted comfortably? Is the skirt supposed to walk cleanly? Does the shoulder need to move without the neckline pulling across? 5. What part needs to be supported internally? Does any part of the design need interfacing, boning, a waistband, a lining, or a facing to hold its shape? When you answer those 5 questions, you stop seeing the garment as just a picture and start seeing it as a set of pattern decisions. And that is where the translation from design to pattern becomes much easier and cleaner. And that is what pattern thinking is all about. It is one of those skills that helps you move beyond just following tutorials every time you want to draft, because tutorials can show you steps. But when you understand the logic behind those steps, you can start making better decisions for your own designs. If you want to practice this way of reading designs before you draft it, I have a free design decoding guide linked in the description box down below. It walks you through the specific questions to ask when you are looking at a garment. Download it below and use it the next time you are breaking down a design before you touch your pattern paper at all. So remember, a weak garment design is not always caused by bad sewing, and it's not always caused by bad measurements. Sometimes the design becomes weak because the pattern has not been given enough ways to do its job. One piece is being asked to shape, hold, support, move, and create style all at once with no structure to support any of it. So the answer is not to force the piece harder, the answer is to divide the work. And the moment you start asking what each piece on your patterns actually need to do, your pattern decisions get sharper, your designs get stronger, and the garments start doing what the design always intended to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.